So let's get started on a heart tie-dye. These peplums, hello, we all love the peplums. We all know they're amazing. I'm not worried about this dark spot here. Like I said, I actually planned on using blue, so it's kind of perfect anyways that it's there. The way I start out is I kind of spread it out in my space, trying to figure out, you know, the best laying. I want it to be as even as possible because what I'm about to do is I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to fold it in half because of how I am going to place the heart. Okay guys, so like I said, folding this in half, trying to keep it as even as I possibly can. And guys, I mean, there's no reason to freak out if it's not perfectly even. This is tie-dye. It's not meant to be perfectly even. It's meant to have little funky spots. It's meant to be individual. Each piece will look different no matter what. I could do this over and over and over again, and honestly, it would never look the same way twice. To give you an idea of what we are going to go for on this peplum, I did a little sample earlier today. I'm going to show you guys. We're going for a heart. This is just a piece of fabric, of course, so this one's a little bit bigger than what we'll see on the peplum, but I'm trying to get that heart shape. So what I've done is I've got a piece of paper, fold it in half, cut my heart out. We all love our rickrack, have a heart there. And I'm also going to use a machine washable marker. So machine washable, it's important. It's machine washable, otherwise when you've left your color, it'll just be left there in your tie-dye. I don't really want that so much. The one other thing about the peplum here is going to be that we have that lower back seam in the back, so it does go a little bit lower. Just got to be careful going over that bump when I'm drawing my heart. I'm going to place it in the middle because, hello, hearts can be the biggest thing. If they're the biggest, I want them front and center. And I'm just going to trace around that heart. And I'm showing you guys a heart, but this could definitely be done with other shapes. This could be done with a star. It'd be a little bit more complicated. This could be done with maybe your favorite mouse's head shape. But you really can do a lot of stuff with this tie-dye style. Now, hope you guys can see my heart. I'm going to lift it up a little bit. So I folded my thing. It's half a heart. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pleat this shape. And I'm following the line. What I'm trying to do is only pleat on this line so that it looks like a straight area. When I'm done, I'm going to tie it with my rubber band. And let's go ahead and do that so I can start showing you how it will look. And again, perfection, not key here. Just doing what we can, getting kind of close. I'll tell you one thing, this is definitely harder to do on a piece of clothing than it was on my plain piece of fabric. I know some people might be wondering why we have it in the soda ash and why we don't let it dry first before we dye it. Honestly, wet dyeing versus dry dyeing does have a different result. I find with dry dyeing, you get a harsher line. The dyes don't flow as well. So especially if you want to mix colors, you can do it with a dry dye. Absolutely. You do not have to have a wet dye. This is just a personal preference. This is the way I've been dyeing since I was a kid. I mean, I've always loved tie-dye, so I can't even tell you how many photos I have of me wearing tie-dye pieces as a child. It's kind of scary. But as you see, I'm just kind of pleating here. My center does not look nice and neat. It doesn't need to. I am not worried about it. All I'm trying to do is create that straight line with the marker. And you guys might be able to see my marker's already fading a little bit. So I'm trying to move as fast as I can to make sure I can stay on that line without it fading before I can see. All right, that line looks pretty darn good. Like I said, I like to use rubber bands of different thicknesses. So for this one, I actually would prefer to use a thicker band on my heart section. I want to be able to get it really, really tight so that it stays together the way I've planned for it to. I find with a thicker band, I can get it a lot tighter. I can already tell it's moved a little bit, so I'm going to try to move it, my bands a little bit. All right, that's a little bit straighter. Sometimes the OCD takes over, even when I'm tie-dyeing. One more good wrap. All right. So guys, I have tied it where that heart is. So I don't want just the heart to be the only thing I've banded. I like to have designs throughout. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add extra bands so that we can have some more color breakage, so that we have some more of the white breakage. Because I pleated the heart, I shall kind of keep the pleated feel going when I band it. I just kind of go with what's already been done and kind of squish it together. And if you can do it, it actually will create almost like a secondary heart around this heart. I'll be interested to see who has actually done a heart before tie-dye. But yeah, this is definitely my first heart and it's been fun. And you don't need to evenly space your rubber bands, guys. I mean, like, give as much distance as you like. Inch, 2 inch, 5 inch, whatever you feel like. Some people like it. It makes it a little bit more unique. So, do you. And remember, guys, these are also really going to be fun for your kids to do. My only recommendation for colors is to remember that basic elementary school color theory. So we all know red, orange, yellow, green, blue, violet. We also know that the opposite colors in the color wheel don't necessarily go well. You put red next to green, you're going to be getting a brown color. I'm going to try to get it one more time. Looks like this might have moved a little bit. I'm just gonna adjust my top rubber band a little bit. You can always adjust. There's nothing that says you can't. There's nothing that says you can't. You've gotten to this point. You can't start over. I mean, of course you can. Another reason I recommend wearing gloves when you guys are doing this is if you have dye on your hands like I do, and if it's not perfectly cleaned off your hands, like if it's just not dried off your hands, you can get dye on other parts of your piece. I did that accidentally with the heart. I had a little bit of blue-green on my fingers and I touched the red, so there's a couple little polka dots of that in there. I don't mind it, it's fine, but it wasn't intentional. Happy accident, I will say. I think the only reason I'm really obsessing on trying to get this line right is I know if it's off, it won't look like a heart really. But like I said, don't worry about perfection. All right, get some more. I know this might seem weird, but I guess when I go down, even though I'm not really thinking about it, I start separating my areas more and more so I have bigger gaps from each one. I don't know, does anyone else do that? I think that's gonna be pretty good. I put down a throwaway tablecloth on my table to try to keep the mess somewhat at bay. Outside would be ideal, but because I'm still wearing a cast and I can't easily get outside, I am doing this in my kitchen. Also, ideal is over your sink. That's where I did my last heart one. But it wouldn't be as pretty as a video if I did this at my sink. I guarantee that. All right, I'm done tying. I mean, I could add another one here. And maybe I'll do a loose one. Why not? We'll do one more. I just won't put it on very tight. More just to keep it together than anything else. Because we're all in this. I'm not going to sing anymore because that's a licensed song. For Rick Rack. Okay. So I mixed up all my dyes in advance. I put whatever amount of powder I wanted in versus the water. These are really, really big squirt bottles. Normally, when you get a kit, they are not this big. They'd actually be about half this size. So that's why none of my squirt bottles are going to be full. I always also, like as you've seen, just been shaking it up. Oh, so I just got some drip drops from my bottle. It happens. I'm not worried. It is fine. That is tie-dyeing. So I'm gonna add some pink to my heart. I'm trying not to go overboard only because I'm doing this at my table and I really don't want an excess amount of dye to clean up later. if you guys have young kids, I pretty much guarantee you will have dye everywhere if you let them help you. But we do hope you'll let them help if you can. I'm grabbing a paper towel to help clean up some of my excess dye. All right, I did that one. I think we should do, I'm gonna go with purple. Let's see, I think yep, that's purple. All right. And I'm actually gonna leave a little bit of white here because I don't want it blending too much.
On the table.
Oh, my assistants let me know there's still pink on my table. So, like I said, I'm gonna leave a little bit of white. The other thing about this being wet is that the dye flows far easier. It's gonna spread out. So, a little can go a long way, and I promise that dye is gonna move. All right, let's get some purple. I think I'm gonna fade purple into blue for this. I really like those colors. Blue is probably my favorite color, and I've got like 5 or 6 different blues over here. I'm gonna start adding purple. I'm doing it around the rubber band. I'm gonna let it be on both sides. I'm just trying to leave a little bit of space here with white so that when I undo it, there's a little bit separation. But you can already see, because it's wet, it flowed in some. I don't mind, that's fine. Totally cool. Add a little bit more dye. I don't like, oops, see, there I go. A little bit too much. It's fine, whatevs. All right, I'm gonna clean up my purple. I'm trying to remember what color this one is. I think it's ocean blue, which last time I checked in my Crayola box, this is not what ocean blue looks like, but that's okay. Not gonna use too much of that. Don't need too much since I had purple anyways. That's really dark. I think actually I am gonna use that one though, because I like it. Like I said, guys, there is no right or wrong in this, like truly. My other note, I guess, is to make sure you get enough dye to soak through. Like, it's going through layers of fabric, and if you don't use enough dye, there'll just be a whole lot of white in the middle. What was that purpley one? Right here. I have a little bit more here because I see some white, and why not, guys? Why not? This is actually one of my favorite blue colors. I think it's called Bahama Blue. It is super, super nice, and I'm almost out of it, of course, because I use it all the time. So, spraying some Bahama Blue. Watch this video, never actually go out to anyone. I made this one pretty strong. I put more blue powder in there for sure to water than I normally do. But, I mean, that's my favorite color here in my kind of range. Also, something kind of cool about the wet is if I hold it like this, gravity is going to do its job. It's actually going to be pulling that color down. Always a fun effect. Why not? Clean up my area. All right, I think I'm gonna go ahead and use that China Blue from earlier because it was the lightest one. Double check that this one is China Blue. Yes, it is. And it is really light. Wow, I probably should add some more powder to that. Alrighty, guys. I have a bag, a simple grocery bag, very plain. I'm gonna stick this in there. Tie this up, put it outside in the sun, let it rest.